Hello, I'm Josiah, and I'm here with my college tutor, Dean, and it is December 10th, 2024, and this interview is taking place in Chicago, Illinois. So for my first question, we're just going to start off a little bit simple. What is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory? My earliest memory was at the first house that my family lived in when I was born. I was the seventh of 8 kids. Ooh. And I remember like 4 of us were jammed in a room, and my dad had to like say goodnight from the doorway because all the beds were just all, so he just kind of waved goodnight to everybody, and then because he couldn't get into the room because there were so many beds.
Oh, because I think I remember like my earliest one, like one of my earliest ones was like at this like house, like with my grandma and like my mom, my aunt, me, and I think like one of my cousins and somebody else. I can't really remember that much. And then I think my tooth had like came out, and I had to like go to the bathroom. I had to pulled it out.
Oh yeah,
that's like
yeah.
My earliest memory as a kid. I don't know how. Like one of those. That's like one of my earliest memories, and I don't really like understand the context because it was like so early on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, second question. What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I mean, it's hard to say, but I was a teacher for a long time, and I had a lot of great relationships with students and helped them in different ways to navigate through high school and into college and beyond. So probably that.
For me, I don't really have like that much yet, because I haven't really started that much yet. I'm still in school. So.
Right.
Well,
you're pretty young, but you can still have pride in things, right?
Yeah, well, here's a start, but...
Well, I mean, your grades are pretty good. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're pretty happy with you here.
Yeah. All right. Okay, and number 3, who is the biggest influence in your life, and what lessons did that person or those people teach you?
Probably the biggest influence is my mother. Again, I'm from a very big family, so I had a lot of influences. My older brothers had a lot of influence on me, but there were 4 of 5 of them, so I'm the 6th boy. So there's a lot of opinions coming at you. But, my mother always just taught me to be friendly, be nice. She just had a million friends, and everybody loved her, and, she loved to laugh, she loved to enjoy life. But she was serious about things too, so she's someone you could always really rely on. Anytime I had to make decisions, I would talk to my mom and my dad, and depending on what that decision was. But when it came down to like my happiest times and my lowest times, she was the one I'd always turn to at first.
For me, I believe that was either my grandfather or my uncle.
Yeah.
They were always like, my grandfather had like a lot of like wisdom to tell me about like different like situations, like, hey, don't do this, or this might happen, go ahead and do this so that you can make sure that this is already prepared for you before you do it. And then my uncle was like he is a really hardworking person.
Yeah, that's good to have.
He actually does a lot of like handiwork around like the house, like him and my mom worked in, like actually built a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he like built like a handmade like dog like house, like I think he like handmade built like a dog house like a couple times.
That's nice.
Twice, and then like there's a bunch of stuff in like the garage I haven't really seen, because we don't really go back there, because most of the time it's like we have events at their house. It's either just in like the main like house or in the backyard.
That's cool. All right.
Well, for number 4, I decided to go like a little bit deeper.
All right.
Since the first 3 were like a bit easier.
Yeah.
For number 4, do you have any regrets at all?
Do I have any regrets? Sure. A lot. I mean, as you grow older, there's a lot of different things. A lot of things you would like to have done differently in life. Could be professionally, it could be personally, it could be spiritually, it could be anything. But at some point you just realize you make decisions And there are repercussions, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but you can't change it, you can only learn from it. So I guess probably my biggest regret is, not learning faster on some things, or not going down certain paths that I would have liked. But, I mean, in the long run, I'm a happy individual, and, I think that says quite a bit.
Yeah, well, for me, it was when I was a bit younger, I had a massive lying problem. I'm still trying to fix that now.
Yeah.
It was mainly toward my mom, because...
How do I know you're telling the truth on that? Go on.
Because I still have, and sort of have that little, childish mindset, the fear of getting in trouble, so that if I, did something, I would be, too nervous to say anything about it, and I would end up coming up with an excuse, even though an excuse wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
So then that would just get me into deeper trouble.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of people will say, a lot of self-help books and things will say, your biggest obstacle, which leads to regrets, is fear. That you don't do things that you should, or you do things that you shouldn't out of some sort of fear. So if you can conquer any sort of fear, then that's going to make you happier and ideally have fewer regrets, within reason.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
And final question.
Yeah.
Number 5. If you could talk to a younger version of yourself, what would you say?
I'd have a lot to say. Floss more. Invest your money more wisely. Eat more. Eat healthy. But you know what? It really comes down to, build relationships, And a lot of that is building a relationship with yourself, just being happy with who you are, not constantly trying to reinvent yourself for other people, So you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and then relationships are going to take care of themselves. I've never had problems meeting people. I've never had problems having friends. And that should have been an indication enough for me that I don't have to reinvent myself, And once I became solid with that, everything kind of falls more into place, and you become happier with who you are. And then that leads back to your other question. You just have fewer regrets because you're just going to say, this is the way I do things. And if I lose certain relationships, then it wasn't on a solid foundation. Or if I'm a losing relationship and I miss that, then I can say, all right, well, how do I fix, the way I interact with certain people?
Well, for me, currently, because of some situations, just try not to overeat, because then that caused some health problems. 2 years ago, I think now. No, not 2 years ago. Last year. I think it was in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, just mainly that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I just think you spend high school worrying about. It's funny. I'm 60, and the things I worried about in high school, the things I worried about in my 20s. The things you worry about in your 30s, you realize a lot of those things don't matter, And they mattered because at the time, people were telling you they were important, But when I look back and think about the most important relationships in my life, with family and friends and so on, those people are always going to support you whatever you do, if you're the person that they think you are, and they're gonna be there for you, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of people like that in my life. So, and you will too. High school is a hard place to travel through, And you just gotta say to yourself, I'm not gonna do things just because I think other people are gonna like them. I'm gonna do things because it's making me a better person, you know? Make sense? All right. That it? Is that a wrap?
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for the
Appreciate your
questions.
time to help me with
Thank you
this.
for interviewing me. All right, good luck with the assignment.
Thank you.
Yep.